According to Dr. Richard Paulson, the outgoing president of the American Society for Reproductive Medicine, the success of womb transplants means it is possible that similar operations could be carried out on transgender women. Dr. Paulson went on to say that trans medicine had now become mainstream and that people who had undergone gender reassignment surgery would inevitably want to take advantage in the medical advances. Speaking at the Society's annual meeting in San Antonio, Texas, Dr. Paulson explained that there was no scientific reason why a womb could not be successfully implanted into a transgender woman. "You could do it tomorrow," he said. "There would be additional challenges, but I don't see any obvious problem that would preclude it. I personally suspect there are going to be trans women who are going to want to have a uterus and will likely get the transplant." Despite the advances, womb transplant is still very much an experimental procedure. Since 2014, at least 5 babies have been born to women who had received wombs in Sweden, while the first British attempt is due to be carried out next year. But some experts are warning that initiating a pregnancy in a transgender woman may be unethical as it could pose significant risk to the fetus. Julian Savulescu, professor of practical ethics at Oxford University, claims that even though there may be a psychological benefit to a transgender woman carrying her own baby, this had to be weighed against any psychological harm to the child being born in this atypical way. The news coincides with the government asking the UN to remove the term pregnant women from an important part of the International Bill of Human Rights to be more inclusive of transgender people. A statement given to the UN is asking for any mention of pregnancy in the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights to remove the word woman. It states that the current pregnant woman term could exclude transgender people who have given birth, suggesting the UN use the term pregnant people instead. There have only ever been 2 examples of transgender people who consider themselves to be men giving birth in the UK. 21-year-old Hayden Cross was the next transgender man to have a child in June, 3 years after legally being declared as male. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook for non-stop inspiration delivered fresh to your feed, every day. For Twitter updates, follow @newspulsestiahuk. Secondary school bans skirts in favor of gender-neutral uniform. The government wants to give people the right to choose their gender, without a medical diagnosis.